We now return to Let's Play Cleopatra. We are in the final campaign, Cleopatra's capital. Alexander the Great himself has paced off the future site of Alexandria, the port city on the Mediterranean Sea that you must now build. Under the 300-year reign of the Ptolemies, ending with Cleopatra VII, Alexandria will become the greatest city in the world, exceeding Rome in population and wealth. Alexander's mausoleum, the Great Library, the Pharaoh's lighthouse, and the Caesareum are your city's projects. But what of Rome's mighty legions? Will they be used for or against Cleopatra's Egypt?
The great Alexander, son of Philip II of Macedon and scourge of the Babylonian Empire, blessed the lands of Egypt with his presence. With his coming, the final corrupt Persian satrap has hastily fled. After sacrificing to the Apis bull at Memphis, Alexander has been accepted as Pharaoh. All the people rejoice. Before setting off on his journey to the Oracle of Amun in the Siwi Oasis, however, our leader decided to found a new city, one that he wishes to someday be the capital of his vast and expanding empire. In his infinite wisdom, he has appointed you to be this future city's first mayor. The great Alexander has bestowed upon you a generous endowment of funds from which to begin construction, and has given you the services of the esteemed Greek architect Dinocrates. In a mere dozen years, he expects you to have the commercial, cultural, and military might of his city developed to high standards, as he has vowed to return. Our leader has even taken the time to trace the positions of the two main thoroughfares of his city. The Canopic Street runs along an east-west axis. The other main avenue is perpendicular to it, and heads inland from Cape Lochias southward toward Lake Meriout. As trusted overseer of this project, you should quickly build port facilities and establish lucrative trade routes. There should be many customers for our products, especially wheat, barley, papyrus, and linen. Do not neglect the cultural aspects of this city, nor its military, however, as there are still roaming vandals that wish to rob Egypt of her wealth.
Okay, so quite a list of things we need to accomplish. There are a lot of snakes around the area, but there are also a lot of resources. We've got a lot of reeds down here, which will be useful. We have very dangerous meadows, many pockets of snakes. We really need to focus on getting them out of the way first. Okay. A lot of empty land. Probably decent farming. We have grain and barley. We have access to reeds, so papyrus. We do not have access to flax. We'll have to get that. But we can make brewery. We can import gems. Turn that around. We also have the mausoleum that we need to make. It does not rotate, which is rather aggravating. But I kind of have an idea for how I want to lay this out. So we have a large amount of coastline. That's pretty good. Fishing spots galore, also pretty good. So what I'm thinking here is I will pretty much make this my industry. Farming and all that down here. We need to get 4,000 people. Now, I was able to get quite a few people. Was it 2,500? With just the two neighborhoods. Now, this is going to be probably a few steps up in our evolutionary needs. We need to get to common residence, and that is beyond pottery, beer, and libraries. It's not quite to luxury goods, but it's close. So we will not be running out of people. They will not immediately switch to the elites and stop working. So we may be able to get away with just 2 of the housing blocks. Possibly. So I think what I want to do is I want to build my typical housing setup. But now that I can't rotate that, maybe what I'll do instead, I don't want it to be too far away. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe I'll just make this on the outside. let's do that. I was thinking I would do it in the inside, in between my two housing blocks, and then I would make a central distribution area. But I think maybe instead I will just kind of have my housing blocks go this way, up the road, and then I'll have that mausoleum on the outside of it. That might work. Okay. So this is obviously a perfect place to put this down right away. And as such, we'll then come off about like this, I guess. So that's 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, 2, 8, 2. And then we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's a little bit further down than I was expecting. We actually have a large amount of coastline still. But I do want a little bit more of a feasible distribution network here. Okay, that might actually work. Could not really extend it. That's unfortunate. I kind of like this, actually. I like the fact that it's there, but it does take up a lot of usable space, which means that in future we may need yet another housing block. We'll think about that here in a minute. First, let's go ahead and put down the usuals. Actually, let's put down houses first. Let's get some people started moving in. So if I'm going to do that, if I'm going to put that building back, I need to think about taking this out so that I can put pavilions in. Gonna have to do this first. Do they need to be larger than that? I forget. They do not. Okay. So now we can have a little bit of a gap along here, which is where I can put a lot of my single buildings. My 1-bys can go there. That'll be good. So let's go ahead and start that. We'll do firehouse, firehouse, architect, architect. Let's get some water started. I don't know if this is going to have a really detrimental effect on these guys or not, actually. I'm not sure how those projects work for appeal. But another benefit to doing this is that we can do a quick wall off here, and if I keep my distribution network over on this side of the road, I can wall that off as well, and then we can have direct access. We can have a road going back here to get fish. We can have a lot of good stuff. So hopefully we can do kind of a tight little city, but it may be that we end up having to have an extra one, which might be okay. You know, I could do like a small housing block out to here. Oh my, holy crap. What am I thinking? First things first, you got to take care of the snakes. Jeez. Okay, so they're coming from that direction. Letting these guys go wander all over the damn place. What am I thinking? That's not helpful. Enclose them. Okay, that's that one. Where's the next batch? Over here. You know, I don't think we need to worry about them, to be honest. I'm not going to have my industry extend that far. For one thing, papyrus does better over here for me, I think, because there's a lot more here, and for one thing, it's also closer than this. So we have no need to go that far. It also means that if I do a wall here, this can be my fields of battle. I'm really not sure how big this needs to be. We will, as it implied, have future builds. Again, I don't think this all carries over. If it's going to be like previous episodes, previous missions, then the monuments will stay there, but the buildings will not. So let's go ahead and... If I'm not mistaken, maybe it was Pharaoh, but like the final missions ended up requiring thousands of people, like 10,000 people or something ridiculous. So, right now we're at 4,000. How many is the final mission of the Cleopatra campaign going to require? And I have no idea if I have no idea if we will end up needing to use all of this space. The map will probably change, as it tends to do. Okay, let's do some small statues here. You bastard. It's kind of like a game of Go where you gotta map out. I think it's just because of that guy right there. You have to map out your area of containment. And we have no other snakes up here. Okay, that's good. So that's getting started. Let's go ahead and put down some of our other stuff. One of our first industries should be headed towards food. And maybe I don't actually want to do this here. Maybe I should actually just focus on this first. I think that would be a lot easier. We do have floodplains way over on the other side of this, but that's just too far, in my opinion, to be actually useful. So let's look at doing something like this. And a water lift, that's another thing to think about. Where could I put that? Okay, so I could get it there and then I could extend it across the way. Let's actually put that down. It will need road access. I'll just connect it for now. And then I'm going to put an irrigation ditch here. So this will kind of give me a line, anyway, of my first fields and farms. Surprisingly, this still counts as being... I can't imagine that'd be highly fertile, though. Let's do a full 6. Okay. So, let's see. Got a roadblock, that. And we may as well roadblock this. And then I'm going to do... I don't want it to be 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's got to be actually closer to here. Maybe I should just have it over here instead, actually. Because if I have to make another housing block somewhere, I think this would actually be better to have it centrally located. That way we can have our fun here, whatever this entails. Is that big enough for like a warship? Yeah. Don't need to have a lot. Probably. I mean, I don't know that for sure. And it would make a lot more sense. See, that's 6, so that fits better there. Okay, so we can still have a fair amount. But this one I think should be... Well, it could also be a dock. Or maybe this should be the shipwright and this be the dock. Actually, that would make more sense. If I'm going to make my distribution area right here, having that dock right there, and having the shipwright here would make more sense. So 1, 2, pull that back, and then we will have that go in there at some point. Because a dock... Oh. Well, crap. Alright, well, I'm sure we'll end up fixing that at some point. Roadblock that, naturally, and then we will take... I think I should build a blocked off road here. We'll go ahead and put the palace down here. That works out. And then I'm going to need... Have my people not crossed the threshold yet? Wow. So I'm going to need to do... I don't know. Something like that. I'm sure I'd save myself a lot of grief if I put housing over here. We'll put another roadblock here. I didn't mean to put it there, but you have road access, stop complaining. This road is going to dip down anyhow, because it's going to need to be like here if I'm going to turn these into my fishing wharves. So it's going to go something like that, which will also allow me to, you know what, why even bother with that? We don't need that little spur there, that's ridiculous. Also allow me to maybe put some houses down here, like right along there, because I won't be able to get anything else. Nothing else will fit there. What are we looking for the gods right now? Only 2 gods, that's good. That's actually very good, because that will save me a lot of grief. Let's see if we can't put down the monument. It looks centered to me. So another theory is, or another thought I should say, is that I could offset it so that I could at least continue the road up and around. But I do like symmetry. What? Okay. I need additional pylons first. That's done. So these guys, we need to come back to these guys, because these guys are going to need something. I think a lot of this is going to be fine. I may actually, instead of putting that there, I may put that here so that I can just have a horseshoe. We're going to need a lot of farms, because I'm going to be doing barley as well. Do we need a horseshoe? So what is that? That's 3, that's 18. That's 2 more than the 16. I was thinking of doing a loop, and that might actually work. Sorry, I do not know why my throat gets so scratchy every time I try and record. Let's actually do that. Let's remove that, and we'll make a loop instead. So it's got to be at least 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, plus 1 for the irrigation on the inside, so it'll be right there. Did that seem like it? Am I at 40? I don't even know what that volume controls, because I don't set my mic volume that way. I guess we'll find out. Now you guys are a water lift. Which means... oh, okay, we'll be jutting that one out. How many can we fit here? How many things will fit? So it looks like just 4. Okay. So that needs to go like that then. And we could probably do... something like that. And a firehouse here. And an architect's post there, I guess. Or here. Now this could potentially cause the problem where they diverge and cause a lot of havoc that way for me, but I think this will be fine, at least for our initial setup. So we got that going. Now let's look at setting up my distribution. I think I'm going to want that on the inside, even though I could easily do it on the outside. Like putting a granary or two here. But that's just that much further they have to walk. This would be fine. This would be a little bit better. At least we'd get something. I think we're just going to end up using some empty spaces to begin with, unfortunately. Put that down there. I don't anticipate this being a huge problem, but we'll try and head it off. If anything, I can just put some shrines down. The best way to fill in spots like that. And I guess what I can do as well is I can just put a road here and then have it blocked off so that if I say put, a store yard there or something, it would not be interfered with. It wouldn't have these guys wandering down the path, but it would create a shortcut for the housing blocks to get to. So I will consider that for sure. That is a bit of a far distance for that to go. Maybe I will actually still want to do something with granary down here and then a get situation up here. In fact, I should probably just head that one off at the pass right now. The problem is if you don't consolidate all that, the walkers are still going to have them traveling off this way if they think it's faster. So that could create a little bit of a problem. Let's also go ahead and just put in some stuff here. That way I don't have to worry so much. And we'll do a beautification statue. Sure. We will also go ahead and do beautification of gardens. And what are we looking at for taxes? Okay. So these guys are still... I think I've got a 6-month wait until they start getting antsy. So I can wait on that a minute. We can build up our speed a little. Get these people coming in a little bit faster. It is very touchy. You get to about 60% and they start going really fast. Should probably build a road along this as well. I don't know why I would. I really don't have a reason to go over here. Yeah, maybe we won't. We'll just wait. So, okay. If I put a wall out here, I could have the road going in front of it. That's what I was worried about. So we can do that. It's still untouched from this, but it will allow me to have my surround wall if I'm still going to do that idea, which I definitely think I should. It makes a lot of sense. Speaking of a lot of sense, it may still actually be better to do this. And just have it go down. What if we actually opened this so this was a loop? I could extend this road a little bit further and then would get all of these. Why don't we do that instead? That makes a lot more sense. This will be blocked off by a gatehouse. In fact, let's just go ahead and do so. what am I even looking at here? We'll come in here. We'll take these off. I guess I can put some houses along here. But I think if we do something like that, creates a bit of a weird space here. But I actually find that to be a little bit better of an idea. Can I see this road? Yeah, there we go. So, really, I could just move that forward. I wouldn't need this at all. Alright, I got an idea. So put that granary right there. Take these shrines. You know, maybe it would still be okay to put a road here, because if I'm going to have my fissures here, that's the difference between going all the way around this loop and then just going right there. Yeah, it doesn't hurt anything. Okay. For some reason, recently, I've just started getting this this mentality of like traffic control and efficiency. 31%. I'm willing to bet the gods are pissed. What do you think? No, they're not. They don't actually care yet. They will. So to head that off, I do also want to do a complex. I may not be able to get that in on this. Could actually maybe do it here, like if I hit it to the edge of this. But I think it's going to be outside the wall. Alternatively, I could put it inside the wall. Oh, well, this would do the trick, actually. Or even here. No, because it wouldn't be touching a road. So I could do something like that. That would actually be nice, because then it actually looks like it lines up to that temple. Yeah. I like it. I like it. We'll do that. Not right now, of course. That's very expensive, and I don't have the people. But we will do a temple. We'll do a temple to Ra. I was about to put it there, but I think we're about to be complained against that there's not enough juggler stands or some ridiculous nonsense. Or here. Maybe here? On the outside? Around the outside? Around the outside? Okay. We'll put that there, and then we'll do... Was that Ra or Ta? It was Ra. And I think we'll also go ahead and put one of these here, and one of these there. I'm aware of the job numbers. So that's not going to do very good for me there. I'm going to have lots of gates. So now we'll see how this loop works. It might be too big. But at the same time, I don't actually need... I could shorten that loop. Because if all I'm going to do is have something here, then it only needs to touch this corner. I could easily bring that in and then get rid of that road again. But they do make the loop. They do hit the point of no return where they will go, so that's good. I don't know, I can cinch that up just a little bit. 31% though. We are a little out. Who's our Ra? Ra is. Now we are also on a timer this time, but I think this one is more like you can get these mission things done in that time, as opposed to you need to extend the game that far. This I cannot say for sure though. But anyway, we have plenty of people, and they are not being used here. And furthermore, I want to check something. They have not yet collapsed. That does not mean they will not collapse, but they have not done so yet. Let's put in a roadblock, and we will need to put in some farmhouses. So, let's see if we can get farms all the way out here. We totally can. That is going to be a very cinched up little thing, isn't it? Just looking to see what I could maybe put on the side. I mean, I could make it fully enclosed. I think that the houses would require some architect, but I'm not so sure the rest would. I have kind of hurt myself a little bit here. So let's assume they will be crossing this anyway. They could potentially be coming out there. And for these guys, well, we'll hang on to that. Stop. So we can do just one little housing setup here. Although it does that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So really it would be better to have like a housing setup here. Yeah, it really would. What if we do something crazy? Well, that was pretty crazy because that's not at all what I intended to do. Let's do a well here. And then these guys. I really don't know what I'm gaining out of this. Because there's still a gap. But maybe I can extend the road this way if I need to for I don't even know what purpose, to be honest. But hopefully once we get some people in there, we'll find employment just a little bit easier. Okay, another thing we can do is turn down the speed and go into the shipwright. Now, so my original thinking was that I'd put the shipwright here and then the dock here, but now it might make more sense to have the dock here, seeing as how we'd have access to it immediately. But I guess if we're going to put fishing ships pretty much all along this, maybe having the boat more central would make sense. It would also be kind of hidden. So if we're going to use it for repairs and whatnot from our warships, we could put this here instead. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. They're going to be going a ways for stuff anyhow, so we'll do not that. Fishing. And that one there. These guys should be good. They are. What was I thinking here? Okay. So I guess actually a lot of this could be just fish. Do we even have... Yeah, okay, there is a fishing spot over here. They're all going to be kind of going a ways, it looks like, to get to the fish. Maybe speed this up a little bit so we can actually see some fish. Okay, so there's a fishing spot, there's a fishing spot. Okay, so it's not too bad. It's not too out of the way. I would imagine there would be another one closer by, but maybe not. Maybe there's no reason to have that. Okay, do we have... Ta can have his festival as well. And we still got a massive amount of people. So there's absolutely no reason that we can't be getting the... What is the growing season here? 8% done, so we could still catch up with the farms. That's fine. Let's go ahead and do grain. And bring this down a little bit, and we will also start with the barley. Beer is probably going to be one of the easiest quick things we can do. And and I would like to get started if we can. It is going to be quite a journey to make papyrus into anything. Oh, they've completely... Yeah, either way we're looking at a very long trek in order to get anything for papyrus, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. I suppose maybe inside of here I could just put the industry. It would actually make a lot of sense to me. Maybe not so much for papyrus. Maybe we will want a middle block, so that way the reed collectors can go gather all the reeds. And then a little bit outside of town here we would have industry making papyrus, and then they would continue the journey to the rest. Kind of a relay system there. That might work out a little bit better. We do have some people going. Okay. We're going to want straw. We're going to want a lot of things, actually. So maybe I should just get that going. Let's actually pull that irrigation ditch down. 1, 2, 3. So there will be the farm right there. Makes more sense to have it there anyway if I'm going to have farms that low. And then I guess I can do something like this. And we'd be looking at roadblocks like that. Well, probably all the way up, because if we're putting that farm there, it's going to cause problems. Stop telling me, oh, that needs... No, it doesn't. It's got road access here. It jumps by 2. You're fine. Just go ahead and put some gardens in here. Just an alternative route into what will be the industrial center. So... Okay, well, we've still got a large stream of people coming in. Massive amounts of people we can put to work. So, well, not as much as you think. Very high unemployment rate, but otherwise not so much on the actual scale and physical count of people. But if we can put them towards an early export industry, get that going very early on, I think we'll be fine. As always, the export and balancing the budget seems to be the key to getting all of this done and not having to worry so much in these missions. So we'll be focusing on that, but I think this is a good place to stop, so I'm going to end this one here, and I will see you next time.